All right, now that we have learned some vocabulary terms and we've talked about some formulas and functions, we're going to have a little bit of fun. In this exercise, you're going to follow along with me and we're going to practice using functions to write formulas for about 10 statements. Let's start with the first one. All right, in this one, we're going to add the range of cells A1 through B10. Now remember, when you see the colon, you know that's through. So you're adding A1 through B10. And how we do this, here we go, equals sum, because remember this is going to be a function, and functions either use sum, min, max, or average. So it's equal sum A1 through B10, because our range, you always see the range in the parentheses, and here the range is A1 through B10. All right, now here's the next one. We're going to subtract B8 from the sum of cells C1 through C10. Now remember, when you are writing formulas and functions, the very first thing that has to be there has to be the equal sign, because if you don't have the equal sign, then your spreadsheet's going to get a little confused. So we have equal sum. Now we have our parenthesis because we've got our range C1 through C10. So equal sum C1 through C10, and then we're going to subtract B8 from the sum of that range. Good. Now the next one, we're going to divide A2 by the sum of the range of cells in A10 through C10. So once again, we're going to start this with equal, and then we can do equal A2, and then we use the forward slash because that's how we show division. Now here we have order of operation, because what we want to actually do first is we want to actually sum A10 through C10. So we want to find that first, and then we want to divide by A2. So we have to remember the order of operations in this particular problem, or it's not going to work. Now the next one that we have, this is one where we're going to be using our max, because we're going to find the highest number in the cell range A1 through A10. Now in the past problems we've been using sum. We're just replacing sum with max. So it's going to be equal max, and then we have our range A1 through A10. And what this is going to do is it's going to tell us what the highest number happens to be in that range of cells. Now the next one, we're going to multiply A6 by the sum of cells A1 through C10. Then we're going to divide the results by A2. So we've got order of operations in parentheses that we need to use because we need to make sure we do it in the right order, or we're not going to get the correct answer. So the first thing we need to do is we have our equal sign, and then we have parentheses A6 multiplied by the sum of A1 through A10. So the first thing we have to take care of is what's in that big group of parentheses, A6 by the sum of A1 through A10. So the first thing that has to happen, though, is we have to find the sum of A1 through A10, then multiply it by A6, then divide it by A2, and we'll have our answer. Now find the lowest number in the cell range A1 through A10. If you remember in one of the previous ones, we were finding the max, which means we were finding the highest number. Now this one we're finding the lowest number, so we're just going to replace max with min, which stands for minimum. So it's going to be equal sign min, and then we have our parentheses for our range, A1 through A10, and this is going to tell us what the lowest number in that range group of cells happens to be. Now we're going to calculate the average of cells in the range of C1 through C10. Once again, we're going to have equal, average, and then the range. And it's going to tell us what the average is from C1 through C10. Now this one, it looks kind of complicated, but it's really not if you just take it step by step. Multiply the sum of the range of cells A7 through B10 by the sum of the range of cells B2 through C9. Now here we go. It's almost like two different problems. We've got equal sum A7 through B10. Then when we find that, we're going to multiply it by the sum of B2 through C9, because we're multiplying the sum of the range of A7 through B10, which is the first part, multiplied by the sum of the range B2 through C9. Find the average of all data in the spreadsheet A1 through C10. Just like the average we did in the other problem, it's going to be equal, average, A1 through C10. And that's going to give us the average. Now this one, subtract C10 from the sum of the cells in the range A1 through A10. Here we have it. Equal sum, A1 through A10, because that's the range, minus C10. And that will give us the answer.